Hello everyone, welcome back to Motorgraph World channel. I'm BK from Korea. Today, as you can see, we have fourth generation, brand new, all new Tucson. Let's take a quick view on this exterior design. It's impressive, isn't it? Grill is starting from here, just right end of the front tire to the other side of the tire. So it's massive area of the new grill, and this new texture of the grill design now integrates this DRL LED light into them. What do you think about this new design? I'm not quite big fan of this new design, but it looks quite different. It looks quite futuristic, and it's kind of a brand new era of the Hyundai face. Side view of this car, there are lots of character lines going through this profile. Some lines going down, some lines are going up, and there is quite dramatic change on the angle of the surface. The only change that you can find in this hybrid model is the design of the wheel. So the other combustion engine or gasoline or diesel, they can fit the 19 inches maximum, but in this hybrid model you have 17 inch and this 18 inch new design for the hybrid wheel. One small drawback that I found, can you hear this? Whenever you try to open the door, you hear very light vibration, the chip noise from the door handle catch. They have this new design, the fender blaster design, but I guess there is a hollow inside of this door trim, so it makes a sound of empty can. Because former Tucson didn't have such a noise. A small drawback. Way different from the previous. There's no such a connection in terms of the design. It has horizontal LED bar that crosses from the right end to the left end, and there are two claws of the LED. The license plate location is being moved upward, as you can see, the former design and the new design, and another parametric, the shape goes through this bumper design, and the trunk is now opening automatically if I stand here for about 3 or 4 seconds like this. The Hyundai logo, the former design, every other Hyundai cars, they have this Hyundai logo on the trunk lid, but now this one is moved into the rear glass. So if you hold this engine start button for a couple of seconds, the power is turned on, but you cannot hear the engine because the engine is sleeping. But the electronic system is now on. As you can see, the cluster is on. So now you can move the car with your remote controller. You can back up the car. And as you can see, it's not running on the gasoline, it's just running on the electric motor. So it's super quiet. There's no emission. So especially in the closed parking lot, in Korea, for specific, most of the houses are apartment, and they do have underground, big, super big parking lot. This will be quite handy in such location. So let's open up the trunk boot and check out how big the luggage space is. This power trunk gate is optional. There are 2 levels of the height, so you can push this floor underneath and have more space, or you can use that tray as the if you fold the second row, then you have quite enormous amount of the luggage space, as you can see here. The first thing that you can find here is the new type of the cluster without any cap or cuffs. They just put the simple display in front. I really don't like this. That's because simply I don't get the reason why they did this, because they explained that this will eventually provide you more visibility from the driver's point of view, but in fact it doesn't matter, because if there is a curve here, still you have the same visibility from your windshield. This is quite aesthetic approach but not the functional approach. It is exactly the same for the center fascia. There's no volume knob or anything comes out of the fascia. Everything is flat, but after all, when you actually use all the function of this, you really need to move your vision to the buttons and find the right location of each one. I do like this area design. Gear, buttons, control for the heated seat, ventilated seat, steering wheel heating. They are all integrated this high raised long armrest. This gives you quite a luxurious look in the interior, and it's something that the previous Tucson did not have. But I do have a question, because since they do have this shift-by-wire system, they did not make a luggage space here. Actually, it's blocked, so they instead have a very little pocket here. I don't get the point, but anyway, it looks good. It looks good. And there is a drive mode switch here, but it does not offer you a lot of choice. It just have 3 modes: eco, sport, and smart. And basically smart is the combination of the eco and sport, so there are just 2 models. So let's start the test driving with the Tucson hybrid. The very first impression after I just jumped into the driver's seat, the sitting position is way high. When you take a look at this car from outside, sporty, low profile design compared to the previous model, but I think it's a little bit higher than the former Tucson. The size of the steering wheel is very compact. I really like this size. Usually they have a little bit larger diameter of the steering wheel, but now it gives you a much sporty feel, and the thickness of the rim is just right for my size of the hand. This electric motor has almost the same amount of the torque as this 1.6 turbo engine, about 26 kilogram force meter. The horsepower of the engine is nearly 60 horses. When combined with the electric motor and the gasoline engine, then this car feels like it's kind of a sporty N-line. Ready? Go! 107.6 seconds. It's just passenger SUV, and it's eco-friendly hybrid, but still it can reach the 100 kilometers per hour from the standing still in 7.6 seconds. Yeah, the gear shift is quite seamless. If you go back to the Kia Sorento hybrid test drive, I could feel some shock when there is a gear shift, but with this car, it's almost seamless. If you compare this car against the Toyota RAV4 or Honda CR-V, the overall ride quality is a little bit more fun here. What I really like about this damping setting is that usually they have more vibration at the rear axle in this segment's SUV on average, but this Tucson has it's a little bit stiffer rear damp setting, and it catches the whole rebound at one time and bring the car back to even level as quickly as possible. Since this car is front-wheel drive, it's very essential to keep the front tires grip level. In order to reduce the understeering, the electric motor can decelerate slightly in order to have a weight transfer to the front wheel, and eventually it gives a sharp response when you just begin to rotate the steering wheel. This is the concept of this e-handling system. Downhill, very twisty downhill. Yeah, the tire skid is gradually increasing. So you will have very gradual understeer, but still quite reduced understeer thanks to the e-handling system. Yeah, I'm going back and forth on this winding road because it's so much fun. Yeah, you start to hear the tires skid quite a lot, but in fact the trace of this tire exactly there that I expect to go. Yeah, it's well done, Hyundai. I really like this e-handling because it acts quite naturally. There's no feeling that the car itself interferes your driving with this technology. It's so neutral. During the actual race competition, race drivers sometimes using both feet, one on the brake and one on the acceleration during the turn. The reason that we are using both feet is to give a little bit more weight to the front tire with the slight braking, and this e-handling function does that for you. You don't need to even train yourself with this hard high technique driving. You just simply enjoy this benefit of the cutting edge technology. Oh my god. Wow, it's fast. It's really fast. This car just accelerates so smoothly without any effort. And acceleration 150, 60, 170, 180. Another gear shift. This speed range, you cannot actually hear any noise from the powertrain, but in fact there are noise coming from the tire pattern and wind noise. Set the speed at 100k. It's about 62 decibel range. Impressive. And the more impressive thing is it's still quite silent on a very high speed range. We have former generation on Tucson on my left. Yeah, that's the powerful version, the 2-liter diesel, which had about more than 180 horsepower. This new Tucson is wider, higher, and longer, and especially the wheelbase now it's about 85 millimeters longer than the previous 3rd generation Tucson. I had a chance to drive the N-line version in Germany, and it was quite nimble thanks to its shorter and a fairly larger tire. But now this new generation, it has less pitching, much more focused tendency to keep the straight. It feels like I'm driving a bigger segment SUV. So let's talk about the MSRP in Korean market. This new Tucson offers 3 different price streams. Starting with the modern, in Korean it's 28.5 million Korean won, including the VAT, 10% of the VAT. Highest trim is Inspiration. So if you add all the equipment onto the Inspiration, then the final price, which is this car, final price will hit the 38 million Korean won, including the 10% of the VAT. The hybrid is very attractive. Not simply it's economical, it's much more fun to drive, it's much more powerful to drive. Even on the quite high speed zone, it still keeps acceleration till 200k area, which was quite amazing because the former Tucson did not show such a high speed performance. So the result of the fuel economy, the whole day we've driven about 85 kilometers, and the total average fuel consumption is 16.7 kilometers per liter for last 2 hours and 40 minutes. But after the sport driving, back to normal daily driving, the average fuel economy is amazingly 29.1 for last 54 minutes. So this is it. Thank you for watching.